guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic and welcome back to the channel. This, for you guys, is the fifth and so far final movie in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Men Tell No Tales, or it's sometimes known as Pirates of the Caribbean Salazar's Revenge. Now, I just got this on Blu-ray yesterday, and I got to watch it for the first time in HD, which was really freaking nice. The cover looks really sick. And now this is the first time, of course, you know, Gore Verbinski did 1, 2, and 3, and then Rob Marshall did 4, and now we have Joaquin Riecha and Espen Sandberg directing as a two-pair. And of course, this is the first time that Terry Rossio and that other guy aren't writing the script. It's by Jeff Nathanson. And first and foremost, I'm going to get it out of the way. Everyone in the world hates this movie. Half of everyone in the world pretends it doesn't exist, and I freaking like it. I don't love it. However, I'm going to get into the negatives right now. I do think that it is very well shot and edited. However, there's a few moments in there where it's not cringy, but like there's a scene where Henry Turner, I guess, Henry Turner gets taken, and you know, Karina Barbosa, she kind of, there's this big swooping long shot, and she goes like, "No, Henry," like that. She sticks her arm out, and it's like I said, it's this big wide shot, and it's kind of weird. It kind of lasts like 1 second. She should have been like, "Henry," not "Henry," because when she stops talking, the camera still moves. Just something easy. And then there is one scene with the writing toward the end where, you know, Karina finds out that Barbosa's her dad, Hector, and, you know, Hector has the constellations tattooed, which is also on Karina's journal, and she asks, "Who am I to you?" and he says, "Treasure." The treasure part is effing perfect. The part, it's just kind of weirdly put together where she's like, "Who am I to you?" It's like, you know, it's like, they could have said something, you know, that's Hector Barbosa's death. You know what I mean? They could have said something a little bit differently, but anyway, it's just a minor complaint. I quite enjoyed this movie. I think this is, you know, it's hard to pinpoint my favorite out of the 5. I'd probably still go with At World's End number 3, but this is a very good movie too. I think that the action scenes are great. I think that, you know, Jack Sparrow is still great. You know, I think the comedy is probably my favorite comedy in all 5 films. I think the comedy is really well handled with the directing, you know, so the editing being funny, with, you know, of course, Jack Sparrow, the writing being funny as well. You know, and there's this whole CGI thing with young Jack Sparrow, which, you know, from having like young Carrie Fisher, young Luke Skywalker, young Tony Stark, I do think that young Jack Sparrow is probably my favorite actor turned younger with digital de-aging CGI. It looks pretty much flawless, you know. Carrie Fisher, Leia, you know, Mark Hamill, Luke, you can kind of tell they're CGI. They're not bad, but you can tell. This, I really can't tell that he's a young, you know, I mean, it's like they got a younger guy that looks just like Johnny Depp, but in fact is Johnny Depp, just made him look younger with CGI. Looks friggin' flawless. Captain Salazar is a great villain. I think he's, you know, I love Davy Jones, and I liked Barbosa in the first one, and, you know, I like Blackbeard, but I do think that Salazar is a better villain than Blackbeard, only because Blackbeard is just a dude with a sword. And he's menacing, but he's just a freaking dude. Salazar is a guy that has a bloody hole in his head, and he's a ghost. You know, he's much more, I don't want to say that Javier Bardem or whatever is a better actor than, you know, Blackbeard, but I do think that the character is, you know, in and of itself more scary and threatening and menacing than you know, Blackbeard is. And part of it has to do with the CGI. Is his hair is waving like it's underwater. Their clothes are waving like it's underwater, you know, because they died underwater. There's a lot of mythology involved in this film. You know, there's a lot of course, new characters as well, like Karina Barbosa, Henry Turner, you know, all these new characters. And they're great, you know, I mean, they're good actors. They're pretty good. There is one scene, and I just watched it, but it's hard for me to kind of pinpoint, but it's where Salazar invades Henry's body with the, you know, the magic that he does, and there's one shot where it's really effing quick, really quick. It lasts like 2 seconds. It's extremely quick. And then there's a scene where you know, Will and Elizabeth are finally reunited, and man, I still get the freaking chills each time, man, I tell you. And I didn't grow up with these movies, but it's funny. It's like it hit me nostalgia-wise, like I did. And you know, they're reuniting, and they're really happy. And maybe they edited that scene because it's very, you know, to these two characters, everything's happening so fast. It's like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like, I'm with Elizabeth, you know what I mean? I'm with the beautiful woman. And the shot goes, like, the first shot is them hugging, The second shot is them looking at each other, and then there's a third shot, and literally the third shot lasts about 1 second. It goes, and then it goes on to the next one. And it's a very, very quick shot, and I'm not sure why it's extremely quick. It's almost like a mistake, it seems. Maybe, again, that is to show the fact that everything's coming at them very quick. If that's the case, well done. If that isn't the case, I don't know, shame on you or whatever. Again, it's a small negative, but overall positives. Great CGI, and you can tell it's CGI, but it's very good CGI. Acting's great, action scenes are great, comedy's great. I think that the practical side is still there. The fact that they robbed the bank, the whole freaking building in the beginning, that's practical. They're actually towing a building through a real town with real people. None of that was CGI. And of course, some of the ships are real, all that, but some of the ships are CGI. Of course, Salazar and his crew, the ghostly effects. Most of that is practical with makeup, but, obviously some of it does have to be CGI. And it's good, it's fine. The writing is good, except for, maybe, like I said, 1 or 2 lines that are kind of, maybe they should have done a little bit differently. But I really enjoyed the fact that they went back to Will and Elizabeth and his son. Henry tries to get the Trident of Poseidon, which can break all curses, to save his dad, right? Karina wants it because she is kind of trying to see who she is in this world and how she fits in. Barbossa wants it because he wants treasure. Jack wants it because he wants to, in essence, keep it away from Salazar. And Salazar wants it so we can break the curse, turn himself human, and kill Jack. So, again, kind of like the Dead Man's Chest, there's a lot of things going on in here that are kind of motivation-driven. But right now, I just kind of want to get to the elephant in the room. A lot of people online think that the writing in this film is very poor. They think that Jack Sparrow doesn't act like Jack Sparrow. They get really pissed about the compass. So I just want to tell you, because there's a lot of lore and kind of heavy things in this film, right? Because on the one hand, you got Will Turner, the whole 10 years seeing his wife thing, and then you got Henry and Salazar and all this stuff going on. And essentially, I just want to kind of tell you guys that Jack Sparrow was written perfectly in this film, right? I keep saying episode. Movie 1, 2, 3, and 4. We need to understand the crux of who Jack Sparrow is. He's basically a man-child. He's an idiot, and he's a pirate. Put those 3 together, you get basically an incompetent fool. But however, he's extremely lucky, right? He's always narrowly avoiding death at every turn. And it's not just because he's amazing, and he is smart to a degree, but it's not because he's, extremely gifted. He's just effing lucky. That's what it is. And in this film, they actually give Jack Sparrow an arc similar, not as quite as well done, but similar to Luke in The Last Jedi. Jack Sparrow's luck has run out. His crew is realizing, right? And after that big, huge debacle, Gibbs is even realizing, look, we're doing these massive stunts. You know what I mean? We're stealing friggin' buildings for gold, and we get 1 piece of gold. You know what I mean? Nothing's working. Nothing's worth it. So Gibbs and his crew are like, look, F you, we're done. They abandon ship, metaphorically speaking. And they walk off the ship, and Jack Sparrow's like, I don't need you, I'm gonna go get some rum. And he gets the rum, and he trades the compass for a rum thing. Now that's the next thing. First of all, Jack Sparrow's not out of character, okay? He is down out of his luck in the beginning, but that's the point. In the beginning, he's Jack Sparrow, but he doesn't feel like Captain Jack Sparrow. He's just Jack Sparrow. His crew left him. He feels alone. He feels like, screw it, what am I even here for? Let me just buy a rum, buy a beer, why not? And then in the end of the movie, they address him as Captain Jack Sparrow because they realize, even with his flaws, he still won the day. He still beat the bad guy, and he's still looking out for Gibbs and everyone else in the end. So it's not a massive character arc, but it's the best we've seen out of these 5 films. Now, going back to the compass, a lot of people were like, oh, he gave away the compass in the other 4, and it never awakened Salazar. Plot hole! Bad writing! It's not bad writing, and it's not a plot hole. Let me explain why. In the first 4 films, every single time when Jack Sparrow gives away the compass or the compass gets taken away from him, he always has it in his mind, his mindset, that he's going to get the compass back. Every single time he gets the compass back. Either someone gives it to him or he gets it back from the bad guy, right? He never had the intent in his mind of giving away the compass for nothing before this movie. He's always either given away because he had to or because he gave it to someone with a plan in mind. Every single time he gives away the compass, he has a reason to get it back, and he does. Except for this movie, when he's at his lowest, he, unwillingly or willingly trades the compass for a rum bottle. And when he does that, he doesn't have a scheme in his mind, oh, I'm going to get that back later. He thinks, you know what, screw it. Take this. He's got no money. Take the compass. I want rum. That's his mindset, because he's so low. That's why the curse awakens Salazar's crew, because he didn't want it back. He had no intention of getting the compass back. He just said, F it, take it, I want rum. You know what I mean? That's how it went. And that's why it awakened. So no, it's not a plot hole, not poor writing. If you pay attention to the canon and the franchise, you will have no trouble understanding that, as I did. Barbossa's character arc in this, again, it's really cool because he's in all 5 films. His death was really great. Of course, Poseidon breaking the trident, you know, the trident, Poseidon being broken, broke every single curse at sea. Now, going back to the end credits, or the post-credit scene where Will and Elizabeth are sleeping, and he has this dream where Davy Jones's claw's going to get him, and he wakes up, and then there's barnacles under the bed, and we're like, oh, wait a minute. There's another plot hole, right? Because Davy Jones died in movie 3, but they broke the curse, which means he wouldn't look like Davy Jones, right? He wouldn't have the barnacles on him. And this can either mean 2 things. The barnacles beneath his bed is just from him, Will Turner. Or, now this is kind of confusing, but bear with me here. This is kind of a theory, but I think it makes the most sense. So it's basically, in my eyes, canon, because it makes sense. But when Davy Jones became cursed to look like Tentacle Monster, he wasn't cursed by the sea. He was cursed by the goddess of the sea, Teodalma Calypso. There's a difference. The trident broke every curse at sea, not things that were communicated by the goddess of the sea or by land. So technically, if you want to think about it, Davy Jones would still be looking like Tentacle Davy Jones, because he was cursed by the goddess of the sea, not the sea itself. So maybe, who knows, with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, that whole shit going on, I don't know if we're even going to get a Pirate 6. We have apparently a Margot Robbie spinoff. Pirate 6 is apparently happening. They confirmed it. They just need to get on board. I don't know what they're friggin' waiting for. It came out 4 years ago. But, you know, that we could easily make one more to have a double trilogy with Davy Jones if they want to go that route. So I think that really that end credit scene, I think it's just there to, you know, oh, if we push on, we'll have that. But, you know, this is a good movie, is what I'm trying to say. There's a few directing errors, a few editing errors, a few, you know, lines that are a little iffy and I would change. But nothing about the writing, editing, and directing, when it is bad, is necessarily a bad thing. It's just a small negative, you know what I mean? I do think this movie is more fun to watch and more entertaining than On Stranger Tides, and I really do love On Stranger Tides. But this one just felt more adventurous, it felt more exciting, it had more comedy in it, it had a lot more really cool action. A lot of the action took place at night, which was good. I'm glad I waited till night to watch it, because when it's sunny, the effing blinds go right into the TV and all I see is the light. So I'm glad I waited. But, you know, I do enjoy it. You know what I mean? I enjoyed it a lot. I think that the character arcs were really nice. CGI looked great. The practical effects were good. The writing, while not perfect, like basically the other 4, was still good. The editing was pretty good. The directing was really good. I think that these 2, I don't know, brothers or friends or whatever, did a really good job of directing these movies. I think that they did a good job of kind of, you know, making the comedy aspect really nice through directing. And if we do get a Pirates of the Caribbean 6, I'm here for it. You know what I mean? If we get a Margot Robbie spinoff, whatever. Don't make it, you know, SJW, but, you know, whatever. I'll probably enjoy it. Again, though, I really enjoyed this movie. When I watched it on DVD, I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. But watching it in HD on Blu-ray, I noticed things. You know, I noticed the big fight in the end where, you know, they're between the water. They're on a real practical set. And of course, you know, all that stuff in the background, in the foreground is CGI. But they're on a real set. I think it's cool that they kind of captured Henry and made him evil for a minute. I think that's kind of cool. It's got some good stuff in there, you know what I mean? So it's not perfect. It is nowhere near 1, 2, and 3, but it's not a bad film, and it's not a film you should miss out on. In fact, you know, I think it's better than 4 even. But again, there's just 1 or 2 directing things, 1 or 2 writing things that are just a little bit, I think they could have spent more time on. But the bad in this movie, the good outweighs it 1,000,000% to 1. So I'm going to give Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, I'll probably give it an A-. So I think every single movie got it in the A range. I was going to give this one a B+, but I was really thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what, the negatives aren't that bad, you know. Normally I dock a point, you know, A+, A-. I normally dock 1 per negative, but it depends on the negatives for me. You know, if it's like, if the writing's really, really bad, I'd give it a B-, you know, but it's just like 1 or 2 lines that were a bit weird, so I gave it an A-. So that may... Anyway, tell me in the comments what you think about Dead Man Tell No Tales or Salazar's Revenge. I think this is probably the most underrated pirate movie. I think a lot of people kind of checked out at this point. They were like, oh man, a fifth one? F that, you know, but like, I'm a true fan of Pirates. I love all 5, you know what I mean? I have some problems with them, but they're really, really well made, and hey, I'd go for a 6. So again, Dead Men Tell No Tales is really cool. The villain's great, the action's great, the comedy's great. It's all pretty much great. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Tell me in the comments out of all 5 pirate movies what you think. Again, guys, hope you enjoyed all my 5 pirate movie reviews. I enjoyed watching them. Really cool, one a day. And again, after I finish Lego Harry Potter, I will be playing Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, the video game, until we hopefully get the Skywalker Saga. Again, E3 is coming up, so stay tuned for that. I'll be covering if we get any Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga news there. Thank you, guys. I really enjoyed this movie. It was better than the last time I saw it. I saw it on DVD, and again, I was like, it's good. But this time in HD, really paying attention, seeing it at nighttime, because, a lot of the action scenes are dark. So, actually being able to effing see was nice. But again, I enjoyed it. Again, A-. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. Again, tell me what you think, and where do you think this franchise is going to go. Thank you, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.